Sorry. Yeah. All right. Yeah, here. Yeah. Line by line. For those who like to use the sample code, okay? Yeah. You download my sample code. Yeah. Yeah. I try my best to make it today, late today or early tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Then after you download my code, you run it, you will have feature 1, feature 2 automatically. Okay. Feature 1, edit rows of any of the 5 tables. Feature 2, delete a row of any of the 5 tables. Feature 1, we will use the Ajax way. Ajax way, that means we do not reload the page. Okay, so you click the button, we just modify small portion of the page, then you see the difference. Okay, so that's the Ajax way. Ajax, feature 2, non-Ajax way. So I like you to compare these 2 ways. Feature 2, non-Ajax way, we need to reload the page. Here you may ask, why we not use the Ajax way as the feature 1? Yeah, but here there is a situation. So that's the reason I like to do comparison. Let you feel about sometimes Ajax way may not be good. Think about Ajax way may require some extra complexity. So here I use this deletion to let you compare. Yeah, you can think about if for the deletion way, if we use the Ajax way, although we can do it if you like, we can do it. Think about after we delete the data, how do you update your current table? 1 row must be gone, right? 1 row must be gone. Okay, but how do you handle that deleted row? Okay, although we can modify, we can remove from the page, delete that, but how do you update the parameters? We know each row there are a certain number of parameters associated each row. How do you update that part? So that could cause some complexity. Okay, that could cause some complexity. So if we use Ajax way to update, that means a lot of work. Yeah. So that's the reason if we do not use Ajax, we just refresh the page, reload the page, all the parameters will be updated. So we don't worry about, we do not need to do any work. We do not need to do any update work on parameters, because when we reload the page, all the parameters will be updated automatically. Okay, so that's something we can see. Sometimes we may like to do it this way. All right, yeah. So that's the reason I include these 2 features so you can compare. So and you can think about. So why, if we do the second feature using Ajax, you can think about how much extra work you need to do. Okay, yeah. So in that way, you can understand this Ajax technology better. Yeah. All right. Then number 3, I like to give you a small task, let you work, feel, work, experience by yourself the little Ajax feature. Okay, yeah, that's interesting for you. That's something good for you, good experience for you. Okay. So here I use this bottom diagram to explain that little feature. Small amount of work, probably you only need to write a few lines. Yeah, not long. Yeah, but you can get it. Yeah. Basically, you use my feature one way to do it. Yeah. So what's that? All right. So in this one, we have this table, the top bar, that's 5 links for our 5 tables, T1, T2, T3, T4, T5. Then after that, we list the rows of the current table, of the selected table. Yeah. Here, I assume the table 1 is selected, T1. All right. Then, at the very bottom, the bottom line, I put a button there. This button, I put this show max button. Show max. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. What I like to do, show max. Yeah. All right. When you click this button, you call Ajax JavaScript function using Ajax to access database at the server side. Yeah. And we need to display max value of the first column. Max of first column. Okay, and you display that value here. Okay, you click the show max button, it displays the largest value. Largest value, no matter it's a string, it's a number, you can always find the max, right? Yeah, the SQL query, you just call that max. That field 1. Yeah, you know that query, simple query. Yeah, the current table, the maximum value of the first field. Okay, you display there. Yeah, using Ajax. That's all you need to do. Okay, yeah. So in that way, yeah, you have some valuable experience, Ajax experience. But at the same time, you do not do too much work, yeah, because this very little amount of work. But you need to understand Ajax. You need to study feature 1, understand. Yeah, I will explain. I will explain the details. Yeah. Either on Wednesday or I create instruction videos. Yeah, yeah. So in that one. And if you after my instructions, if you still feel hard, you can make an appointment with me. I start a Zoom meeting. I will help you complete that. But I feel most of you, after my instructions, you should be able to complete this little show max task. Yeah. In case you feel hard, you just send me a message. I will start a Zoom meeting. I will give you detailed instructions how to work it out. Okay, how to work it out. Yeah. The bottom line, those 9 students, because those 5 students, it's not an issue, right? Yeah, the 5 students, they already submit. I will grade those 5 submissions quickly. Yeah. So if I see something not normal, then I will talk to some of the students. If for 5 students everything is normal, then I just give them grades quickly. But for the remaining 9 students, yeah, any of you feel this little task still hard, make appointment with me, so I will give you further instructions to complete this little task. so the bottom line, I like to make sure all of you go through this project, okay, with some useful learning experience. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. So that's my plan for the project. Yeah. After this one, then we need to go to the complex query part. Complex query, remember, here, let me use this part. For that complex query, we will have 5 query questions in the final. All right. Yeah. And in those 5, 2 of them relatively hard. Okay. Yeah, I said last time. 2 of them, one use that exists function. 2 not exists. Yeah. Yeah. And example, last time we studied one example. Yeah. So that example, very confusing. So I will look at that example again. We have a little more discussion because that one will be used as, the possible, or our final, these 2 questions, so will similar to that one. So we need to study that example well. Yeah. So that is the next thing I like to go back to that example again. Yeah. Try to study a little better. Yeah. And look at this one. No, this one here. All right. Here. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So start from here. Yeah. Now let me go to a few slides. Yeah. This is the question. Okay. Yeah. So let's recall our question last time. Retrieve the name of each employee. Yeah. So the first part is easy. Okay. The harder part is this condition part. Who works on all the projects controlled by Department 5? This condition is hard. Okay. Yeah. So that means when we use nested query, the outer query is simple. Yeah. Here, this outer query part, very simple. This inner query part is hard. Yeah. Inner query. All right. And the logic, very confusing. Yeah. Here, this is the answer. Yeah. Outer query, trivial. Inner query, where not exists. When we use not exist function here, you can see we use that double negation approach to represent the condition. Yeah. The hard part is that double negation. It's very easy to get people confused. Okay. Yeah. Think about in our real world experience, when you have situation with double negation, yeah, very confusing. Yeah. All right. So here, yeah, we use this way. The first parenthesis, easy, yeah, easy to understand. That's all the project numbers controlled by department 5, right? Yeah. All the project numbers controlled by department 5. Yeah. Let's say set A. Yeah. This is set A. So when we draw a diagram, set A, this one. The second parenthesis, except. Here we know the set operation, set operator, except. Yeah. Take away, remove from the set A, this is the set B. Set B, those projects worked by the current employee. Yeah. So from the works on table, we can find all the project numbers worked by the current employee. Yeah. That is set B. Set B. Okay, all right. A except B, that's this part. Yeah. A except B. Yeah. You know, in math, sometimes people use this special minus operator, A minus B. Yeah, but this backslash minus, you know, in math, you know, sometimes people write in that way. Yeah. So A set minus, yeah, it's another regular minus, set minus B. Yeah. So that means in set, you remove all the elements that belong to B. Yeah. All right, so that part, empty. Yeah. A except B, this shaded part is empty. What's the meaning? The shaded part, empty. What's the meaning of that? If the shaded part empty, what's the meaning of that? Okay, yeah. Is it the meaning the same as the condition in our question? All the projects controlled by department, yeah, who works on, yeah, the current employee works on all the projects controlled by department 5. Okay, yeah. Department 5, all right. So all the projects worked by department, all those projects controlled by department 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, yeah. So you can think about, yeah, all the projects working on department 5, this special employee works on all of them. Okay, not missing anyone, work all of them, not missing everyone, anyone. Okay, yeah. But to represent that, all of the not missing everyone, then this negation approach is needed for this case. Okay. All right, so set A, all the project numbers set A. How do we know this particular employee does not miss anyone? Yeah. So we, from set A, we remove all the project numbers worked by the current employee. After the removal, it's empty. All right. So then the logic is this employee works on all the projects controlled by department 5. Still very tricky. Still very tricky. All right. Yeah. So here, so let's just understand from another angle. Yeah. Here, now, there is something special. Need to rewrite the part that uses except, yeah, because this except, this operator is very special. Yeah, it is part of the SQL, but here the issue is MySQL does not support this operator. Yeah. If you write this statement, you run in MySQL, it won't work. You know, so that's the problem. Okay. Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So here we need to get around it. Yeah. So next I will talk about, so there is a way we can get around, use the not in operator. Not in operator to get around that except operator. Okay. Yeah. Still, we can do the same thing. So think about in set A, but not in set B. How about that? In set A and not in set B. How about that? Okay. Yeah. You know, P number, project number in set A, but not in set B. So that's the same as the except. Yeah. So we can get around in that way. Yeah. But here, that double negation, that part, the hardest part, the double negation. Okay. Set A, okay, list of projects controlled by Department 5. Set B, list of projects worked by the current employee. Okay, yeah. All right, set A, set B. All right. What do we need? Yeah, from the condition. Yeah. So if you still remember, yeah, we want to find those employees who work on all the projects controlled by Department 5. That's the condition. Okay. Yeah. Find those employees who work on all the projects controlled by Department 5. All right, yeah. So that's the question. All right. So you describe set A, but how do you know, how do you represent this employee works on all the projects controlled by Department 5 without missing anyone? That part is hard. So here, the reason we use negation approach, we want to represent that all, okay? Not missing anyone, all. Think about if you do not use that negation approach, for this all part, it's hard. All the projects controlled by Department 5 also worked by this employee. Yeah. All right, so now you use that in negation, you can represent that all. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah. All right, so that's the, because we did in the previous slide. Yeah. Here, there is a yeah, think about another case. All right, so let me write another similar statement if you can see the difference. Yeah. The hard part is, we know the hard part is, very confusing. Yeah. So find those employees such that all the projects that he or she works on belong to Department 5. How about that? All the projects worked, currently, worked by this employee belong to Department 5. It's different from the first question, right? Yeah. Different from the first version, second version. Yeah. All the projects worked by this employee all belong to Department 5. Okay, yeah. So here you can see B set, right? So all the project worked by this employee, that's set B. Then all the project controlled by Department 5, that's A set. Okay, yeah. So here you can see we have a situation B except A situation. Except A. So here we need to consider this part. This part we represent this shaded part, and we want to make this part empty. Empty. Okay, this part empty. All right. Yeah. So in the pool of B set, B cell. So first we get all the project list worked by the current employee. Yeah, that's easy. That's the whole B set. Then, because we want to represent all these projects are controlled by Department 5, part of Department 5. Department 5 could have more projects than this set. Okay, yeah. All right. So yeah, Department 5 can control other projects. Yeah. All right. But to represent set B, yeah, here set B is a subset of A. Yeah, here this whole thing means B is a subset. Yeah, here subset of A. Yeah. Then our version 1, we want to represent A is a subset of B. compare the difference. Yeah. Set B. Yeah. In set B, after we remove all those projects controlled by Department 5, it's empty. Nothing left. It's empty. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we represent. All the projects that this employee works on belong to Department 5. Okay, the opposite way, opposite direction. Okay, and the first one, that direction, yeah, all the projects this employee works on all the project controlled by Department 5. Okay, yeah. This employee works on all the projects controlled by Department 5. That's the first version. Yeah. Think about if you can tell the difference, these two versions, if you can tell the difference. Okay, yeah. So study this example well, because I may like to give you one of the 5 questions very similar to this example. Okay, all right. Yeah, then we only have 10 something minutes. Yeah, I like to, first, not in operator, we can use this operator to, represent except the B case. Yeah, so it's not in. Yeah, here, I'll tell you, so we can get around this except in this way, but for this class, I do not ask you to practice this part. Yeah, I just let you know, okay, this fact. In the final, I won't give you question using not in operator to replace that except case. Yeah, so you don't worry about that in the final. Yeah, here you just know in the real world, when you need to write a query statement that needs that except operator, but your DBMS does not support except operator, then you have this solution. Yeah, you only need to know this fact. Then, yeah, we will. Yeah, so this project. Then the last thing, yeah, I have 10 minutes left. Last thing, I want to talk about this having clause. Yeah, some students already use the having clause in their, previous homework assignments. Yeah, so here, let me just talk about this another time for those students who haven't used this having clause. Condition. Okay, after grouping, certain conditions must be satisfied. Yeah, after grouping, because you have some special condition you need to enforce. Yeah, in this situation, you can use having clause, so you can attach some conditions. How to do it? Yeah, having provides a condition on the summary information regarding the group of tuples associated with each value of the grouping attributes. Yeah. Only the groups that satisfy the condition are retrieved in the result of the query. Yeah. But it's pretty natural. So when you use this having clause, yeah, it's pretty natural. Yeah. Let's look at a simple example here. For each project on which more than 2 employees work, retrieve. Yeah, so that's the extra condition. Okay. Yeah. So that's the extra condition. You can use having clause to represent. Retrieve the project number, the project name, and the number of employees who work on the project. Okay, work on the project. Yeah, and you can see, you know, when you do grouping based on the project. Okay, grouping based on the project. But after you do the grouping, you want to apply an extra condition. It's not done yet. You need to represent another condition. So what's the condition? Yeah. For the selected project, for each project, that means the one you select, okay, on which more than 2 employees work on. Yeah. You count the number of employees who work on this project. That number should be more than 2. So that condition, you can use that having clause to represent. All right. So let's write the statement. Yeah. Auto query easy, the project name, and the count number. Yeah. Count with respect to group by. So here, yeah, I mentioned before, we use actually, we know these two one-to-one correspondence, right? Project number and the project name, one-to-one correspondence. That means we can take away one attribute. The grouping attribute, we just use one of the 2. That's enough. The same result. Yeah. You use another one, but you know, the same definition. Although you use 2 attributes, but your groups are defined in the same way because of one-to-one correspondence. Okay, yeah. All right, so after that, then you count the number of rows in each group. Yeah. In each group. Yeah. In each project. Yeah. Each project. Yeah. Greater than 2. Yeah. Number of employees in each. Yeah. Each project. Yeah. Yeah. Here. Yeah, because we join project table and the works on table. Yeah. The joined table, you can get the number of employees who work on each project. Yeah. Having clause. Yeah. So it's a, you know, pretty natural. You can add special condition on individual groups. Yeah. All right. So order to apply. Yes. So because there is the order. So you apply where clause first, then having clause. Yeah. You know, based on our logic. Yeah. So with the where clause, we can join 2 tables. We can define groups. Yeah. And at the end, we apply some special condition, yeah, with having clause. Yeah. All right. The rule is that the where clause is executed first to select joined tuples. The having clause is applied later to select individual groups of tuples. Yeah. So you need to first, you need to join table to get a, you know, big joined table. Then you need to define groups to do partition, right? Partition all the rows in subgroups. After that, you can apply aggregate functions on the groups, and you can describe your special condition with respect to those subgroups. That's the logic, okay? Natural logic. Yeah. All right, yeah. So here, yeah. Other part, easy, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Another example. For each department that has more than 5 employees, retrieve the department number and the number of its employees who are making more than $40,000 in salary. All right, yeah. So here you have more than 5 employees. Yeah. That condition, okay? And another selection condition, yeah, here. And you can see this is a selection condition, right? Yeah. The salary number, yeah. Each employee, so you get a salary. So that's a selection condition. And this one, each department that has more than 5, that's the group condition, right? Because this condition is applied on individual groups based on the department. One department corresponds to one group. So that's the group condition. Yeah. So the having clause, when you use having clause, you apply it on that group condition. Yeah. All right. So here, department number, the number of employees. Yeah. So join these two tables. Yeah. The where. Yeah. So here, yeah. Having clause and department number. Yeah. Here you can see department number in. Yeah. So you can see this part in. Yeah. The groups having number of employees greater than 5. Yeah. So look at that. Yeah. So the relatively hard part is this condition. The relatively hard part. Department number in this inner query. Okay. So when you describe the second part of the condition, yeah, and you use that having clause in the inner query. Yeah. All right. So yeah, try to understand these examples. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I think from these examples, you can focus on these examples preparing for the final. Yeah. Only 5 questions. Yeah. All right. So then it should be enough. Okay. Yeah. So we have plenty of experience, practice experience for the queries. Yeah. So after you graduate, so you have pretty good background on the SQL queries. Yeah. All right. So let me stop here today. And next thing, I try to get my sample project completed quickly. Yeah. So